So this is a discussion with a good friend of mine I've been knowing since high school, um, fellow fanboy, fellow artist, or whatnot, Eric, and we're going to have a discussion about our love for movies, and then also we're going to talk about his his short film that he made. So, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. What's going on, fellas and ladies?
So let's see. We got a lot of history, so I'm not going to bog it up with all that. But okay, so I guess since we were young, since I met you, we've been watching a lot of different kind of movies. First of all, like, what's one of your favorite movies or your favorite type of movies?
Uh, my favorite type of movie, I think, is a kind of movie where it's mostly set in uh, kind of a normal life, like our world situation,
Hmm.
and but there's just something, a little something small that just makes it a little bit off. I do like the big grand fantasy movies and the superhero. We love the superheroes.
Right.
Um, but I think the movies that the kind of movies I would like to make and that speak to me the most are movies that are everything seems like it's normal, but then there's just a little something in the background or a little something in the corner of your eye that makes you question, hey, is
So,
something going?
so what's an example of that type of movie to you? Like, what would be a kind of a good movie that kind of encapsulate that kind of?
Uh, I love A History of Violence.
Okay.
Love that movie. There's a movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Hmm.
Uh, it's more of it's a historical fantasy type. The movie crosses so many genres, it's crazy. But it's actually based off of a true uh, historical type of mystery, something that happened in France. And the director was able to take the situation and kind of add his own little flavor of a fantasy to it, and it's got martial arts and the whole bit in it.
Yeah.
But the situation itself is a true story. So
All right. On. That's dope. And that's funny because like knowing you and knowing, like, you always have the heart of an artist. And the cool thing about you is that not only that you have like a good eye for detail and you love art, but you also respect art, because a lot of people don't necessarily respect it. So they might like it but don't respect it. It might just serve a particular purpose. But you know um, for you, it always seemed like you kind of get lessons from it. Like, you take it, you see what you could get from it. You actually, like I said, respect all parts of it. So I think that's really dope. And that you're also, like, always like a student, and then not a student like not knowing, but student always kind of being open to trying new things, being open to new things and stuff too. Because I remember, like, us being kids, and we're going down to like San Francisco and going to Chinatown and getting anime movies, and they wasn't even dubbed in English yet. And you guys would get those movies just to watch the fight scenes. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Or look up what words would mean to kind of work out the language and stuff. So I always thought that was really dope that
Yeah.
you guys were like that, and I'm glad I got the experience being around you guys doing that kind of stuff. So even back then, I knew, you know, matter of fact, our whole crew, we really respect, art and movies and stuff like that. So I always thought that was pretty neat. So it's interesting that the same kind of artist that you are, that you would like movies the same way. So I think that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I know it's kind of weird because I mean, I don't want to, you know, sound, facetious or anything or toot my own horn, but yeah, I kind of feel like we were kind of on the cutting edge of a lot of different things. Like, I was in an anime back before it was popular in America.
Right.
There were subtitles or anything. We'd have like 4 and 5 generation VHS tapes and try to make up the stories because there was no translations.
That's what I'm saying, man. I thought it was crazy because it was even dubbed. Like, I try to explain it to people, they don't understand. I'm like, it wasn't dubbed. It wasn't meant for English consumption. You know what I mean? Like you figured it out. You had to appreciate the line work or the animation because you wasn't going to figure out that story unless you kind of put it together.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. There was only one magazine at the time called Animag, and you
yeah,
had to hope when it came out every 2 months that they might cover a movie that you liked with translation. But that was crazy.
yeah.
Then I was on to Hong Kong, Jet Li and Jackie Chan before anyone here knew who Jet Li, Donnie Yen, that's my number one guy.
Right.
Uh, now all that stuff is here, and I'm kind of done with it.
You already had it. You already had it, and you had it before it got kind of like put through the machine. Before it got extra
So, like,
grinded.
kind of feel like they dumbed it down when they got here.
They kind of did in a way, but it's kind of like you always, for most things that are like a product or becomes a product that they're going to put it in the filter of the people you're trying to serve it to. You know what I mean? So if it's for babies, they're going to grind it up. So they know our attention span. They know our how we treat art and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if things were kind of tweaked in order to satisfy our American taste. And it's just so funny because even things like I think that are kind of unfair, things like how they'll take a good movie that's a foreign film and then kind of choke it out as far as putting it out here. Like they'll put limit release and not really advertise or push it, and then remake the same movie a year later, but don't even be true to the story and messes it up. That's why I was so shocked that Parasite did it so good. I'm surprised they didn't snuff that movie because they're gonna do a Parasite, starring Mark Wahlberg in a year. You know what I'm saying? So I was shocked that it was actually appreciated for what it was. And if you didn't understand the language, you sat there and you read it and you got a chance to pay attention to the artistry of the person, because sometimes translations, you lose things because, it's tied in with culture and other things. So
Right.
sometimes when they're trying to, make it fit for somebody, you lose something because when you take away language and things like that, it can leave something a little lost or mistranslated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's a
Dumb
trip.
down.
Oh, sorry?
The dumb down, they do a lot of that for us here, as you said. They dumb down things for us. So
Yeah. So I thought it was a trip. But yeah. So how you feel do you feel like the things you like about movies and things like that, do you like the same things in art? Like painting and drawing and things like that, or
uh
you see any similarities to your taste?
yeah, I yeah, I think they very much feed into each other.
Yeah.
uh I mean, because although I'd probably say my foremost medium for storytelling would be through drawing
Mm-hmm.
and painting, but first and foremost, I actually consider myself just a storyteller,
Right.
regardless of medium. It took me a while to get there, but so if I'm telling a story through a drawing or a painting or through a moving picture, whether that be animated or live action,
Mm-hmm.
to me it's still going to be I'm still looking at the same things: composition, color, and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes ideas come to me in one medium, and sometimes you know they come to me and I can see them in several different ones. So
Right.
I don't really separate, I don't think, for the most part.
Yeah. I think an artist's eye is an artist's eye.
Yeah.
No matter how you interpret it. So okay, so jumping from that, um, recently you moved into doing your first movie short, which I thought was pretty dope. One, because knowing how much you love movies and how particular you are and all those things that, I know you kind of played around with the idea of it. So to actually get that call that you were working on a project, I thought it was pretty damn dope and about damn time. Um,
Yeah.
but with doing that, so first, like, okay, so how did it begin your journey with even taking the leap to take that next step to actually start. So what kind of got the whole thing stirring in the first place to even be like, okay, I'm gonna go for this? Because it had to be like a big mountain to look forward to and be like, man, how am I gonna get up there? You know, like I want that, I see that, I know that I could put in the work and do that, but I gotta start. And I'm looking at that mountain. Most people, you know, they turn around running or ignore the mountain because they think that journey is gonna be too much. So it has to be something that got you to the point, or to be like, okay, it's okay to take that first step and I'm going to do this. So how did that even come up?
Right, right. So yeah, that's actually a lot to unpack there.
I'm sorry. However you
I,
want to say it.
I'd probably say there were two main kind of uh, two things that pushed me into the situation. So the first one is because I think I have a really big issue with in terms of at least my art uh, with you know, with dealing with the depression, you know, of producing,
Hmm.
because I have a very high, you know, um, you know,
Expectation.
I demand a lot of myself,
Yeah.
and and for many aspects of my life, you know, it's not an issue. But I think probably because art is so much my passion and personal, it can be crippling. So I read a book uh, uh, called the War of Art. Um, I can't remember the writer's name right now. Uh, Great book, great book. But basically, to sum it up, the book basically is about, the guy's a writer, and he talks about what he describes as something he calls the resistance. And basically, resistance is that one thing that keeps you from achieving that what is the most important passion to each individual person. It's called the War of Art, but you can apply it to anything
Right.
that would be important to someone. So I read this book, great book, and really hit me at home, and understanding why I had so many issues. Um, and I literally just completed the book. And then I was scrolling through Instagram one night and came across uh, a couple of guys that I follow. They create lenses for cell phones so that you can make movies,
Okay.
of which I have some. And they were saying, oh, we're you know, our annual film contest is going to start uh, tomorrow, right? And
Wow.
it was really late at night, and I'm scrolling. And I was like, wow, that would be cool to enter that. Too bad I don't have any ideas. And then that was literally the last thing I saw on Instagram. And then I turned my phone off and I went to bed. And then I woke up with the idea and for the film. Still wasn't convinced I was going to do it, but I went to work that day,
Mhm.
and one of my employees. So I work in the medical field. One of my employees, he's a musician, and we always talked about doing a project together. I always remember him like, hey, when I make a movie, you're going to do the music for me. And I told him about this idea I had for a film, and he's like, "Whoa, man, that's pretty good." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go write it on my break and get ready because you're gonna do the music."
Tag.
I literally wrote it on every break and lunch that I had. I wrote down the first draft of the script, came home. I told my wife, and she's like, "Whoa, that's a great idea. You should do it." And then the next day I had off. I wrote the second draft of the script, gave you, and Hosea called, ran it by you guys, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this." And then one thing about in the War of Art, he says is like you can't let resistance is like this really, you know, sneaky swab SOB that if you let, it'll give you all these reasons why you shouldn't do or you can't do or or you won't be able to do it. And he says, you have to just put that all to the side and just do it. Don't think about if you can do it right, if you're going to do it good. Forget about perfection. Just do it. So that's basically what I did. I just did it. I posted that night on Facebook. Anyone know any actors? A couple of director friends gave me some avenues to find actors. I posted, found an actress. She was great. My main actress, the star. She pretty much helped me cast the majority of the film and produce it. And yeah, it was great. And I mean, other than an editing class I took in art school, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I was literally learning on the fly. I would go to work, and on my lunch breaks, I would pull up I would write, okay, what do I need to know to do this film?
Right.
I have a list. I will pull up on YouTube videos. How do you do this special effect? How do you do this? And I would watch the videos on my breaks at work and then go home and actually do it. So, I'm surprised, I mean, and the funny thing is I didn't get the film done in time for that.
Yeah, that don't matter.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was so happy with the film that I finished it that it didn't matter to. I did submit it in a couple other ones, but yeah, I was very happy that I actually did it and finished it. And for my first film, I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah.
Particularly since I didn't know anything to begin with, but yeah.
But that kind of goes back to what I was saying about how your personality is, how you're always open and willing to learn and, ask for help, which is cool. And that kind of, was to your benefit to be like that. Cause some people would probably like do it wrong or not try to investigate to find out more information to make a better thing. So that's pretty dope. And I agree with what you said about that book. Cause that's how I roll. Like, do it. just try to do it, because if you sit down too long, you'll have reasons not to get up. So that's definitely good advice for sure. So okay, so once you kind of decided you were going to do it, and then you found out what you needed to do, and you found the players that you needed to make it happen. So what happened after that? So what was kind of the process from there after you kind of like, okay, I got all my pieces to the puzzle. I need to start kind of putting this all together. What was that kind of like? You could just kind of, if you want to, you give detail, or you could have like your overall experience about, gathering people together or putting things together or however, but what was the kind of the process to kind of pull it all together once you had all the pieces that you needed?
Right. I think a big thing was gathering the pieces. Making sure I was trying to be prepared for everything. I'm a huge reader in terms of like trying to learn processes for things that I want to do. And in fact, like you were saying, it's a strength, but sometimes it could be a weakness because I could sit and procrastinate, like trying to learn things.
There's balance, yeah.
But no, I'm not going to start until I learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I tried to break everything down. I got with my actress and figured out what times she had available. And then I just tried to block everything out. What am I going to need for this? I storyboarded the whole thing, just very, very loosely. It came to me pretty visually, so I pretty much knew exactly what shots I wanted.
Yeah. So how many shooting days how many days did you shoot for?
I think we shot for 3 or 4 days total.
It was very tight. It was very tight, and you knew what you were looking for. And I must say, with all the stuff you had going on, you were still very gracious to everybody. You wasn't, cutting up or anything. It's just very, it was kind of cool to see you like in the thick of everything and bouncing all those plates, yet and still having composure and just kind of, working through the process, which I didn't expect anything different, but it was still cool to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know. I felt like I was just walking around like the Joker with a big ass dumb grin on my face the entire time.
Nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
my wife was like, "I've never seen you this exhausted, but I've also never seen you this happy." It was yeah, it was an amazing experience. Hard, so hard. I
What,
have
what
friends
oh, sorry.
direct. What's that?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying? You said it was hard and what?
I have friends who actually have directed multiple short films and stuff like that. I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I have respect now, but even before, but even more so now, having actually done a real project. So
So,
yeah,
so looking back, what do you think some of the bigger challenges were?
and the biggest challenge was I didn't know what the hell I was
Okay.
doing. In certain aspects, or I should say, it was. I knew. I felt like I kind of knew what I was doing because I'd read so much about doing it,
Yeah.
but I'd actually done it.
Right.
So I think having read so much about it, uh, I was mentally prepared. Like I kind of ran the event in my head so many times that like when it came time to do it, it didn't seem so new.
Like a sketch.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but you know what? I'd probably say the hardest thing was just the lack of time. You
Okay.
know, I was I'm in management, so I was working a full time management job, which is more than 45 hours a week. Um, and then I had to work with certain, with people's schedules, and I had a lot of people that were gracious to give me their time because I couldn't pay. There and people were. I was fortunate. People were excited to want to work in my and the places I got to film at. People were very gracious with those things. So yeah, it
Dude,
was time was probably a challenge.
but dude, the way you are, man, you already had equity and all that stuff already. Being the person you are and being kind to people in the first place, just kind of going out of your way for folks. You already kind of had that bank filled. You just never cashed it. but I think that you already kind of, I think when you do for people and just be that kind of a person that when you need it, when you really do need it, it does come back to you. So for somebody else where it'd probably be hard, even though you probably wouldn't want to have to ever do the ask, like, I think that you, like I said, had enough equity in the bank to ask for things that, that most people probably would get denied or probably wouldn't, or think that they deserve and probably wouldn't get. And it probably came easier to you just because, like I said, it's just being the way you are, and
Yeah,
people notice that. And a lot of times people are just waiting to help you out or help somebody out. So if you do good things, people are waiting to help you out. It's just a matter of, um, the ask, I guess, which is hard for a lot of us. It's hard for me as well, but it's nice to know and see things come together like that. Cause I thought it was pretty cool too. The different locations and all the people coming through and all that. That was pretty amazing.
yeah, it was a great experience. It was a great experience. Yeah, attitude, I agree, it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Uh, the whole 6 degrees of separation. You never know who could be related to who or who knows who. So
Right.
just be nice to everyone.
So,
Yeah, really, everyone who helped me um, uh, were people that I would yeah, definitely work with again. You know,
all right.
uh,
So besides time, was there any other kind of things that you bumped up against that you had to kind of like, okay, let me figure out a different way to go about this, or I didn't see this coming, so how can I flip it? Was any situations that came up like that? Any changes, any last minute changes or course corrections or anything you had to do? Not that you had to have any, but did you?
you know, um, I got to the end, towards the end in the editing stage,
Hmm.
and that one for the artists out there, you know that part in the painting, the ugly part where where it's like you look at the drawing or the painting and you're like, this ain't working. You know what I mean? And you have to fight to push yourself through that. And if you could just get on the other side of that,
Right.
then you're good. But it's that part where, you know, I guess you could say resistance is all like, oh, I'm not gonna let you through. I'm putting the gun to your head.
Right.
So I was in the editing stage towards the end, and that was hitting me hard. You know, it wasn't the movie wasn't playing the way that I saw in my mind,
Right.
and there was a certain effect that an ambitious effect that I had in the movie, and I edited it together, and I got it, and it looked cool, but it took you out of the movie.
It did what to the movie?
It took you out.
Okay.
Like it didn't have the effect that I thought it was going to have. It took the emotional connection that you had with these characters. It kind of took you out and made you go, oh, hey, look at this effect. And it had the opposite effect of what I was trying to do. It was kind of one of those kill your darling situations where you're like, I really, I was looking forward to this effect, but it's not doing what I had anticipated. In fact, it's doing the opposite of what I anticipated I thought it was going to do. So I had to cut it. And in fact, the film had a 3-minute time limit on it. In fact, so just cutting a bunch of things to make it fit into the time limit, that was hard.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it made for a tighter film, because you have to cut a bunch of things that aren't necessary.
Right.
And I think it actually worked out better in the end. But I say the biggest challenge was the feeling. I was going for a kind of a disquieting, uncomfortable feeling in the film, and then the score was delivered to me, and I tell you, man, the kid, my kid Jesse, who did the score, it really, because the movie wasn't feeling right. When he brought that score, and it changed it from a disquieting feeling to a melancholy feeling, and that just shifted the whole thing, changed what the movie was about, but made it.
Yeah.
His score really, his score made the movie.
It's so funny how you kind of take, like, how you can take different, even with knowing how you could take certain ingredients for granted, like almost kind of like, like you're making a cake and you have 2 eggs and you need 3, and you're like, I can use 2, that should be close enough. And then your cake turns into like a brownie because that 1 egg really made a difference. You took it you think like, okay, well, egg's an egg, or, the cake will be strong enough because you got the flour, you got the sugar, blah, blah, blah. I got it, I'm good. But everything, every little piece, every measurement equals the total of the end product.
Yeah.
And it's
perfect
how that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So I noticed that when you were shooting, at least to me, it looked like you shot in order.
Didn't actually.
You didn't? Okay, so the part I came in was just happened to be, well, okay, maybe I came in the middle. So what order did you end up shooting in, or how did you end up shooting it?
I actually shot. I shot according to locations and actor availability.
Okay.
So the day that you came down and we filmed, that was the day that I had the most available locations.
Okay.
Available to me, I should say. So I just shot for availability, and when we shot at the coffee shop that day, I'm trying to remember if I don't think I actually even shot that in order. I think I shot that mostly for light setups.
Okay.
I was looking, okay, what shots will I need on this side? So, and I had limited lights,
Hmm.
so, light certain sections, shoot what was going to be in those sections, and then relight other sections and shoot. So,
Okay.
but I had that all planned out, so it didn't stress me out or anything. I knew exactly what shots I needed. I had a very compact shot list,
Yeah.
and lighting list. I knew exactly what I wanted. I'd probably say the most difficult thing was because I'd never lit a film before.
Hmm.
Was just was doing that, and I think mostly I did. I'm happy mostly with what I did. There are a few shots where I'm, you know, I would light differently now having the experience, but I'm pretty happy with the way it was lit. Particularly, knowing that it was shot on an iPhone 6. So
Yeah. Very professional. Like I said, the whole thing was behind the scenes and actually the film. So okay, so was the experience what you thought it would be? And if it was it better? Was it worse? Was it kind of like you didn't really know until you kind of went through it, or what would you say?
it was. Uh, I'd say was what I thought it would be. Overall,
Okay.
uh, there was nothing negative about it. It was yeah, it was great. I can't remember any major problems. I mean, it's possible they popped up and I was just so giddy about the whole thing that I just moved around them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were situations, but for the life of me, I can't remember them in a negative light. I just remember rolling with them and going, okay, well, I'm just going to do this. And
Yeah.
uh,
So you're gonna do
I,
that mountain, but just keeping your eye on your feet.
I'd probably say, like I said, that it was just the time, you
Yeah.
know, you know. Uh, but fortunately, I'd been in situations and seen enough interviews where directors were like, do as much planning as you possibly can beforehand,
Right.
and allow yourself enough time for the things that you don't plan for, the problems to occur.
It's great advice.
And so, yeah,
That's funny because I was gonna ask what advice would you give. So that's definitely good advice for sure.
yeah, plan as much as you can,
Right.
and talk with other directors and be, I'd probably say the biggest thing is work on another set. Work on an independent set,
Right.
an independent movie set. Because if you're working on an independent movie set, then that means you have people doing multiple jobs. You're gonna see all the things that need to have happen,
Hmm.
and you're probably gonna be doing multiple things on the set. So being on that set, being on Friends sets was probably invaluable to me because I got to experience what being in a real movie was like, being on the set of a real movie, but not a big movie, a
Hmm.
small movie where everyone's doing everything.
Right.
So
It's,
yeah.
it's pretty dope. All right. So okay. So we'll be wrapping up soon, but I want to, if you would, give us a little synopsis, give us the name of your movie, the title, and then also a little bit of what's about without kind of giving it away. What would you, what's your pitch or what's your trailer?
So the movie's called Doppelgänger, which I probably should have looked up the title because after I made the movie, I realized there's a million doppelgangers out
That's all right. That's not yours.
there. Yeah. And it's basically kind of just poses a question of uh, what makes us us, what makes us human.
Mhm.
Uh, in the face of all these new technologies, specifically, just to say it, I don't think it'll give the movie away, but specifically cloning. if we're able to clone humans, what is that? If we were able to, do that, what would that mean for us as humans? And I don't mean like practically speaking. I just mean, well, practically speaking, and also in terms of how we view ourselves uh, and uh, you know, I guess spiritually, you know. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much what it's about.
All right. So where can folks check it out? Where's it
Uh,
available at?
right now, I only have it on Vimeo.
Okay.
I should probably put it on YouTube, and I'll probably get around to doing that at some point. But there should be. Where's this gonna? This gonna be on
Like on,
Facebook?
yeah, it's gonna be on iTunes and all different kind of places. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna advertise on Facebook as well, but it's gonna be like on iTunes and all the different um, places where podcasts are. And also,
Okay.
I'll put a link in the description as well.
Okay.
But
So just go down to that link right there. I'll do that. I watch all the YouTube videos, and they're like, go
I'm gonna
to
put it in the
that link
opposite place
down.
just to be a smart. But I'm gonna put it in the opposite place that you're pointing, just so you'll look crazy doing it.
This guy is gonna put the link down there.
I can't help myself. So that's cool, man. Like I said, I was there for some of the shooting of it, and being there, I was amazed, and I was just as amazed when you finished it and you sent the finished cut of it, and I was amazed and how professional it was, how the vibe of it, how you said so much in such a short amount of time, which isn't easy to do. A lot of times people need like long narratives to make a point or to give a feeling. So I thought it was really amazing how you did so much in those 3 minutes, and it's so you, from the way it's shot to the story, the details. It reminds me of your artwork as well. So I think that's pretty dope how it has your signature on it, even though it's a different medium. It's still dope that it's still Eric. So I thought that was a really cool to see, you know, your view and your take on something in that medium. So I thought that was amazing. So what do you have? You have any plans for any new projects that you have ideas, or you plan on starting, or anything you think about playing around with?
I do. Really quick, just to hop on to what you were just saying, though, I want to thank actually you and Jose, because you guys really helped me tighten up the script. I appreciate that a lot. And then I want to throw a shout out to not only everyone who was in the film and helped with the film, but also to my star Heather Hall, because she was great. She invaluable making of the film. So Heather, keep it up.
That's why people
But
love you right there. See, you always include and you don't forget.
right now, I have several personal things I'm working on. Probably the biggest one that's taking my time right now is I'm working on a script with our friend Jose,
Right on.
based on a story, a treatment of his own personal treatment, and I'm helping him, and we're co-developing the script right now.
Nice.
Not really sure what the medium is going to be yet. I'm trying to convince him to do it as a graphic novel.
Okay.
To be honest, though, I hope it leads to streaming.
You said hope at least it's what?
Leads to a streaming show or something like that.
Okay.
I don't, because I don't see it as a 2-hour movie. I see it as a long narrative. So that'll be nice.
Well, something you probably could shoot yourself for a treatment, at least just to kind of see how that would, as your sketch.
We have thought about that. But it is also it's a medieval historical and heavy in that aspect. So I'm not sure if it's super practical for us to
We'll talk
do.
after.
I mean, that would make, so you never know. I mean, nowadays you never know. So I won't eliminate that as a possibility. So
Artist always figures it out. And
Yeah.
you know, and like you said, which I thought was funny about getting that point where you're working on a piece and you're afraid. I'm the same way. And I always tell myself, you don't do junk. So it could be creepy and scary and look crazy, but in the end, by the time I get done with this thing, it's gonna be on point. I don't do junk.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
so long as you keep that in mind, be like, hey, I don't do junk, then it can be as scary as it want to be, but you know, like in the end, it's gonna be all right. So, well, right on, man. So it was great chatting with you for sure, and getting your perspective and your journey and your process and everything. I thought it was, you know, I always thought it was well. We've been what friends since high school. Since what? So we about how old?
17,
Yeah.
30 years. Huh?
Yeesh. Don't be putting
Years.
my age up in there.
Oh.
I'm just playing. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time, and like I said, I'm very proud of you. Um, like I say, you're one of my dearest friends for sure, and I just appreciate you as a person, first of all. And I appreciate you as an artist as well, and just being a good person. Because a lot of times it's so funny how people are different.
Yeah.
People are different. Um, and we don't have enough people who add. We have so many people who take away. That's their full-time job, taken away. Never nothing to bring to give to add, but always taken away. And you've always been, you know, even when you're trying to work out your own journey, you've always been a person who added. And I appreciate that about you. And yeah, it was like I said, it was important for me to have this kind of conversation with you about it. 'Cause I always thought it was really cool that you were doing it, and also it came out so dope. Then I thought it'd be cool to talk about it as well. But um, I really appreciate your time and all that good stuff and your friendship. And was anything else you want to say, or are you good?
No, thanks for having me. I 100% agree with your statements. I think that's why our group, our high school group, is still so tight knit, just because we kind of all are on the same page in terms of you know what you're saying there. So yeah, no, this was awesome, dude. Yeah,
So I'm definitely going to have you back for more. So probably different topics, but definitely I'm gonna have you back because we always need to catch up anyway. So and we always have interesting interesting things to say. Blah blah blah. So why not record and share?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man, and thank you for your time and peace.
Peace.